Do you like how he's being used yet, or have you been able to even catch him?
Definitely not. They're not using him enough.
Man, just give him the ball more. Travis Hunter is a generational bust. It's probably what you're saying if you look at box scores and play a lot of fantasy football. See, me, I watch football. I think they weren't paying attention throughout the season. So let me lay this out. We're going to do a few things. We're going to lay the pretense out. We're going to hear Deion Sanders call out the Jaguars for not using Travis Hunter correctly. And I want to point something out, and actually we'll get there. I want to derail this. But then after that, we're going to look at some stats, and then we're going to look at some film. They have an extended cut to the film, and as a Texans fan, a sad Texans fan, I got to tell you, Travis Hunter, he was messing some stuff up. I don't know who y'all have been looking at. I don't know what stats you've been looking at, but impact on football goes a little deeper. So first things first, I want to lay out a little preamble. So this generational bust, quote unquote, is tasked with starting on both sides of the ball, remember, and getting major snaps on both sides of the ball and being an impact player. So first things first, the expectations are ungodly. Like, he would literally have to be throwing touchdowns when he was in that wide receiver to match the level of expectations that has been put on him. But another thing that I think people just aren't putting into context in this whole situation is that Travis Hunter dealt with an injury coming out of the preseason. Travis Hunter actually missed some time in the preseason. Travis Hunter has been on limited reps for the first 2 weeks. This last week was his, I think, most amount of reps in general, and it still looked different. So it's hard for me to say, oh, it's so bad. Travis Hunter's not doing anything. Travis Hunter is the Shohei Ohtani of doing nothing. And this is why, if you watch baseball, just stick to baseball, right? I understand that if you're looking at ERAs and EPAs and elemental PQR, STOVU, I don't know. Baseball is so boring that they've added math and accounting into it to make sure y'all don't fall asleep. That's how much of a terrible sport baseball is. So I'm not going to dignify any baseball fans' opinions about football because I know you're used to watching the worst sport in American history to watch with your own two eyes. It's so boring that there's a side job of watching baseball where you have to get hammered. You have to get alcoholism, drink 9 beers in 9 innings and another 15 hot dogs for it to even be enjoyable. Now, a legendary baseball player, because he was a football player, Mr. Deion Sanders, let's see what he had to say about the underutilization of Travis Hunter.
Do you like how he's being used yet, or have you been able to even catch him?
Definitely not. They're not using him enough. Like, I've seen it with my own eyes on an everyday basis for 3 straight years. So I know what he's capable of, and I know how you got to take care of him. He never practiced on Tuesdays. He's practiced on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He was ready to play 100 and some snaps on Saturday. So you didn't need to use him on a Tuesday or Monday. You don't use him like that. But Travis is a big kid, man. He just loves the game. He loves football. He loves studying. He loves the preparation. He always had at least 5 hours of study in each week because we keep that list. We know how much everybody's studying. And he is just a phenomenal athlete, one of the greatest I've ever seen do both simultaneously. Yeah. And he dominated.
So, obviously, and the point I was going to make before we actually get into some of the stats of Travis Hunter and then get into the film of Travis Hunter, a lot was made about Deion Sanders or how are you going to, as a head coach, are you going to be able to deal with Deion Sanders making all these comments off the field about. And he hasn't done that. He has not done that once about Shedeur. He actually talked about Shedeur, but all he said about Shedeur is, hey, that stuff that NFL media has been lying about, he cleared that up. And then he said, oh, yeah, by the way, I believe that he's going to be able to get his chance and get his opportunity. Nothing of that is harmful because if you're Kevin Stefanski, if you're a head coach with any sort of sense that spent 2 draft picks on quarterback and you see how bad Joe Flacco is playing, you better bet your bottom dollar it would make sense to at some point to give Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel a chance. It would be asset mismanagement not to put Shedeur out there. So at some point, I'm not saying they're going to start him next week. I'm not saying this and that, but that's how crazy Deion has gotten. He's only responded to negative things about Shedeur that are outside of football when people try to make him out something else. Other than that, he said, hey, I hope he gets to play and I hope he's going to be all right. He hasn't said anything about Kevin Stefanski. He hasn't said anything about the coaching staff. He didn't say nobody did anything wrong. He hasn't said all of the things that y'all were swearing up and down Deion Sanders was going to do with Shedeur. And this is why you don't want Shedeur, because you don't want to deal with Deion. It didn't happen. Now, it's already happened with Travis Hunter, though. Now, that's this is what they were mad at. This is what they were assuming Deion was gonna bring with Shedeur, and Shedeur's actually probably in a quote unquote worse situation than you think, and he hasn't done anything. But Travis Hunter, he said, "Oh yeah, we calling out Liam Cohen." He not using them correctly. So this is what the stats and facts say. So just to point out, amongst rookie wide receivers, first of all, if I could do a victory lap, shout out to all the Carolina fans. The fact that people thought T-Mac, because that's how he wants to be pronounced. I know Terrell McMillan. I know how to say his name, but he prefers to be called T-Mac. Whoever thought that T-Mac wasn't going to be a good football player, again, go back to playing fantasy football. This football watching, it's not for you. Go watch baseball. Go, I don't know. Go find some unknown, undrafted free agent that's going to get you extra 12 points to win your matchup, because I don't know why y'all thought Tedero McMillan, the 6'5" Polynesian demon, wasn't going to be dragging his. Never mind. We're not going to get too far. Anyway, number 2, Ime Ibuka, who's been probably the biggest surprise just because of how high level he's done it. Not surprised for me. Again, I've watched Ohio State football. I know how those boys get down. Alec Io Manor, again, not a surprise to me. I told y'all in my Cam Ward videos that Alec Io Manor out of Stanford was going to be the guy that has to step up for Cam Ward. Then you have Luther Burton with 103 yards for the Bears. Then you have Adante Thornton, I believe Raiders, but he was from Tennessee. I could have him wrong. And then Travis Hunter, 76 yards. So Travis Hunter has, playing both sides of the ball, just want to point this out, he has more receiving yards than Matthew Golden, first-round pick for the Packers, more receiving yards than Jaden Higgins of the Texans. Now, the Texans are terrible, so maybe that doesn't matter. That doesn't count. But I do want to point out that he's technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's top 6 in receiving yards, and he's playing both sides of the ball. So when you put it like that, I don't know. But again, not everybody feels the same exact way. So Travis Hunter's stats on that day, this was against the Texans. He had 2 targets for 1 reception for 21 yards, 61 offensive grade. And on defense, he had 6 total tackles, 4 targets, 4 receptions allowed, 48 yards allowed, 116 passer rating allowed. Now, as much as it's, you see the 116 passer rating, you see the 48 yards, he only allowed 4 receptions, and all 4 of those targets, he had 4 receptions. Obviously, last week he had the big pass breakup, and then right here on defense, he had 6 total touchdowns, and that's at cornerback. Now, we talked about this, and we're going to get deeper into the film, and obviously, me being a Texas fan, I watched it. They've been lining him up in a lot of different places. That's something, I'm not saying, this isn't really me throwing bail to him, but this is just really just the natural world of the defense and modern defenses, and people and offensive coordinators putting defenses in interesting situations. So he was lined up at safety depth sometimes he's on the inside, sometimes he's on the outside. So there's a lot being thrown at him in these reps as well. But for the first time in his career, Travis Hunter played more defensive snaps than offensive snaps. Hunter was limited on the offensive end tonight, catching just a half of a 1 for 2 targets for 21 yards. I was like, a half a target? How did he get a half a target? And then more context, Travis Hunter, week 1, 8 offensive targets, played 10% of defensive snaps. Week 2, 6 offensive targets, played 60% of defensive snap. Week 3, 2 offensive targets, and played 69% of defensive snaps. So kind of as you're seeing a trend, and again, something that was already pointed out, they're slowly working him into what he is going to be. Now, I want to acknowledge Deion Sanders' comments after reading those stats, the comments about him being underutilized. Here's what I would say. In my mind, and y'all can go back and watch the videos. That's the beauty of YouTube. I have been saying, look, though, I already know how to use Travis Hunter. I'm sorry. I know I'm no offensive coordinator, but watching him since he was at Collins Hill, we go way back. Jackson State, and then now, obviously Colorado and then the NFL. What the type of player Travis Hunter is an absolute ball skill guy. And what I mean by that is that there's not many players that no matter what side of the ball, no matter where they're lined up, that they're always going to consistently be able to come down with that ball, right? So he has a very unique set of ball skills that no matter where he's located, no matter what position he plays, like he knows see ball, get ball, and be the most athletic, freakily agile person on the field. That's just his game. Right. So with that being said, in my head, I've always said, hey, he needs to be a defensive player. And this isn't something new. I've heard other people say it. He needs to be a cornerback, whether that's the third corner. Maybe he comes in for a nickel package, but he's still the outside corner. Maybe you trust the corner to knock it inside. I'm not as confident on Jaguars' defensive personnel, so I'm not big there. But regardless, he needs to be a defensive guy, defensive first guy that gets packages on offense. However, you can't have packages on offense and only target him twice. Like that is absurd. And we looked at last week. We looked at the targeting in the QBR per target for Trevor Lawrence, and that's why last week we blamed Trevor Lawrence. This week I'm not blaming Trevor Lawrence. I think we need to talk about how is Cohen gonna actually live up to the facts and truly utilize him. I think that he should have lots of targets, lots of packages, but it should be packaged, right? It should. And the way that I talked about this is right. And interesting though, because Jackson Dart just got named the starter, so it might not apply as well. But the thing that I liked about Dayball's use of Jackson Dart is that when you bring him in, even Taysom Hill, right? Those types of players, when you change the pace, it makes defenses focus, right? It's like, whoa, okay, well, now we have this thing that we have to account for. So if you're a non-disciplined defense or a defense that's been lulled to sleep by BTJ, here, there, a run, and then all of a sudden this package comes in and now Travis Hunter's in the backfield. Oh, whoa, what in the now linebackers are like, what's going on? And then you motion them out, and then now it's 3-by-2. And now it's like, whoa, okay, well now your nickel has to deal with Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter needs to be used as I don't know how much y'all play video games, but like what's that sound? Like a Metal Gear Solid where like the exclamation comes up like, whoa, like it needs to be an alert. It needs to be like we need to ensure that we either match him. We got to switch the protection. We got to do something. He needs to be a threatening piece on offense that is brought in sparingly. But when he's brought in, hey, we know the ball's coming to him, because what that does is that gives you leeway over the defense. What it does is, okay, well now I can bring him in for 15 plays, and even on only 5 of these plays, again, the ratio doesn't have to be there, but only on 5 of these plays is he going to get targeted. 10 of these plays are going to be pass plays, but the other 5, I'm just bringing Travis Hunter in to get people excited. I just want the defense on their toes. I want to bring Travis Hunter in. I want to motion him across, and I'm gonna run inside zone 3 times with Travis Hunter on the field. Like those are the type of chess matches that a player like Travis Hunter allows you to do if you utilize to the full effect, right? If he is a defensive player that then comes in for certain packages, I kind of want it, or in my head, I would want that to feel that, want the defense to kind of get these different looks and have to focus and lock in for those situations. So enough yapping. Let's get to the tape, man. Let's do it. Now, I have found a way for us to watch this, right? You got to bear with me, but we're going to fully watch it. Let me see if I can do it here. Can we do it? Boom. All right. So obviously we got to put a little of this over here. Now we're only going to put this over when we watch the full play. We're going to watch full play, turn it off, and then go back. So here he is. So Travis Hunter is here. He's outside, or he's lined up as this outside corner, I believe, here at the top of the route. So he's going to bump there. He's going to trail here. Not too shabby from Travis Hunter. Or, okay, I'm completely wrong. Travis Hunter is down here. Okay, sorry. I can't really see who's where, but Travis Hunter is down here. He's going to open up there. And he allows a first down, but that's Dalton Schultz. That's against a tight end that's sitting in his zone. So, okay, there you go. That's the first one. Okay, so let's get to the second one. Let's find Travis Hunter. Let's identify where he's at. I think he's down here against Nico Collins. That's another thing. You got to be honest. Like, if we're gonna be honest, Travis Hunter had his hands full. He was going against Nico at some point. So here he is going against Nico Collins down here, and he gets physical with Nico Collins. And then obviously he allows Nico to sit in the zone. So I mean, are we counting this? I don't know if they count this as him getting receiving yards, but what is he doing? What is? Let me turn this off for a second. Let me turn this. Let me slow it down real quick. So because I know I want to do this. So here's Travis Hunter. He's one-on-one with Nico Collins. Again, 6'5". This is a big body. This is going to be one of the bigger, more physical wide receivers he's going to have to deal with in the NFL period, right? A lot of people have said Travis Hunter's a little small. He's undersized. So let's see how he deals with this, right? He's not fully pressing, but he's in his guzzlet right now. He's showing man, but it does not become man because he passes him off, right? And then he's going to sit here. Now, what is this dude doing? God only knows. God only knows what made him start rightfully he's sinking. That's what you're supposed to be. Sink. This looks like a match coverage because it looks like he's playing man, and you can see he's playing man. The easy way to tell us when someone's playing man, they're gonna look directly at their man through everything, right? Zone, they're gonna look, but they're gonna be looking around. So you see Travis is sitting in this zone, right? He's kind of squatting here in the zone. He's squatting and looking in the zone, and obviously he didn't do what he needed to do. He sees this guy, and I think he's also reading the eyes of CJ Stroud. So CJ probably looked here, got him to move over a little bit, but still, like, what are we doing? What, do you not know where your friend is? So easy first down, easy pitch and catch for us, and then we got an extra 15 for a targeting. What is that called? Unnecessary roughness. I'm confused. All right, here it is, Travis Hunter again at the top of your screen. I think going against Nico Collins again. Now, again, the Texans, I'm a Texans fan, so I will know we have some big boys at wide receiver. We got Nico, and then our second-round pick out of Arizona State, or Iowa State, rather, is a big dog, too. He's about 6'4". So these are going to be, again, very physical corners. It looks like he's by himself right now. He's got a single high safety. This looks like cover 3-ish, right? Because squat. So this looks very cover 3-ish. Right, so he's all by himself, giving a really good cushion to Nico Collins. Right, I mean, this is like a 10-yard cushion, and I think he breaks pretty good here. I mean, look at where he wants to break here. He's given a lot of cushion again because he doesn't have help, so he kind of has to. And he immediately breaks on this ball. Let me see if we can see. He immediately breaks on this ball right now. So right here is where he's settling, and there's just too much space there for him not to get there. Bad ball by CJ, and hey, Travis gets a little physical. Travis gets a little bit physical. Man, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. So another set here. We're gonna watch this. This will be the last play. After this, I want to watch that offensive play again because he did go crazy there too. Where is Travis at though? And this is what I mean by, like, I say safety depth, and this isn't really safety depth. This is just them trying to align against a lot of bunch and a lot of stacks. So that's going to allow him to kind of be in this deep safety depth, quote unquote. But really, I think they're just playing cover 3. He's going to sit over top. Yeah, so he's basically playing cover 3. Again, safety depth. But what that does is that forces your corners to have this funky alignment where he's super deep. Because if you try to get in here, right, and you try to line up man ways, that's not how if you try to man and match up in here, it's easy to pick you, it's easy to get lost, it's easy to put something right underneath you, right? So some defenders or some defenses like to give a big cushion here and then kind of allow that bunch to open up and then allow the assignments to go first. I would like to see him be a little more aggressive here. But again, he is one of the third high safety. So really his job is this. This is his job. All of that. It's not just right here. It's really all of this that the bunch comes here. And that linebacker probably could be a little bit more aggressive. But I'm not really seeing any times where he's getting really exploited. We'll watch this one. This will be the last piece of film we watch, and then we'll go watch the offensive play because this is in the red zone. You got motion from Nico. Again, they're forcing Travis Hunter to get in some, I wouldn't say uncomfortable positions, but definitely in some interesting positions, right? And now you've got all this space. Wait, is that even Nico? Yeah, I think that is Nico. So you got Nico DeFrico right here breaking out. And he's squeezing this, guys. Like, this is a good rep. This is a really good rep. Like, look at the way Travis Hunter, again, he's got this big cushion, right? He's on them, and instead of being, oh, he's small, he's this, he's that. Nah, man. If you're gonna come into my zone, if you're gonna come here and you're gonna come to my sticks, right? I'm protecting the goal line. I'm getting physical on you. I'm going ahead and I'm putting my hand in your pocket right here. This is veteran stuff right here. The hand on the hip, making sure he can track him through, right? And then what he does, and this is what I love a lot, he's squeezing him. He's squeezing him towards the sideline. Any good cornerback's gonna know the extra defender is your sideline, right? So you're gonna run outside. Well, hey, let's get you out. Let's make sure there is no option to do that. So good job by the rookie taking away. Again, the most important target for the Houston Texans and Nico Collins, the most physical target on the board for Nico Collins. It's something that needs to be pointed out. It's something that, it's easy to say that people are this or that or they're draft busts, but it's a little harder to actually get into the tape and look at what it's looking like. So let's watch this play. And we've already watched this play. We've already watched this play, but that boy real nice, man. That boy real nice, man. He gets this little outside. You know what I'm saying? As much as I say, hey, he should be primary defense, you gotta find a way to get him the ball, because when he's doing things like this, look at that, just stutter. Look at him, like, basically lined up in the slot here. You got a linebacker on him, and he's gonna lull him to sleep. Let BTJ clear out here, take his time, right? And this is cool. This is crispy. I want to point out, I think this is third down. I think this is third and forever. Regardless, there's like 21 to go for the first down. He sticks his foot in the ground, right? Turns one way, get up off me. That's one. How about another one for you? This is Bullock. This is our all world safety. This is our guy. Bullock gets put in the absolute dumpster, and then he's rolling through 3 people for a first down. I think you need more of that. I think the more you get of that, the more it's going to be great. So I as much as I want to say, hey, this is my issue, or this isn't my issue with Travis Hunter, I gotta Deion Sanders, right, man? Just give him the ball more. Just play him more. Just give him more, man. Even more. Give him more balls, man. But y'all let me know what y'all feel about Travis Hunter so far. Again, look, the Jaguars have a better record than the Texans. I think they're doing okay. The Colts are a wagon. But again, Travis Hunter was dealing with an injury. He's a very unique player. He's doing 2 things at once. So if you think he's just a bum, if you think he's just washed, if you think he's a bust, stop playing fantasy football. But you have a phenomenal day, man. Keep watching videos. Keep liking them. Keep disliking them if you don't like them. Subscribe if you like them. If you want more football content of all shapes, sizes, forms, and fashions, man, hit that bell icon. Let me know what's happening down below in the comments. Y'all be great, man. Peace.